Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This was always my dream to say the words that I'll be a person on this flight. So I welcome Rafał Milczarski, the president, the CEO of Polish Airlines. Mikołaj, deputy minister of infrastructure. Alexei Korn from Swiss Railways. And Mariusz Szpikowski, the CEO of PPL. Gentlemen, I think you can take your seats.
Thank you.
And so that we have, sorry. And I think we have one more guest, right?
Oh,
sorry, I have. Gentlemen, so that we are, because we have 25 minutes, Polish Airlines for the last 2 years is really reaching its development limits. We can say that the infrastructure that we have in Poland is too small to let your airline to grow.
Thank you for the correction, Łukasz. Because we are definitely not reaching any development limits as Polish Airlines.
Yeah, but infrastructure.
We are strong and getting stronger. We are extremely ambitious. But it is true that within the current hub infrastructure, or what we are using as hub infrastructure in Poland, we are truly reaching development limits. We don't know the final number, but I think it's likely that we will be reaching up to 18 million passengers in the Chopin airport this year, which actually is probably as much as we can fit without additional significant investment. We definitely want to grow more. There is a number of connections that we as Polish Airlines are still capable of opening. In fact, all the efforts that we have done since 2016 when we took over the management of the company, we have reformulated and rationalized the hub operations, made them logical for passengers, so actually the hub started operating. We have involved PPL very significantly in a battle to operate a hub in something that wasn't built as a hub, that wasn't conceived as a hub, and frankly speaking, isn't really a hub airport. I always criticize it, and I want to criticize it again. It's way too narrow to fit all the passengers, to fit all the checkpoints, to fit all the passport control points and everything else. So, and of course to handle all the luggage for the passengers. So we are really fighting a battle, an uneven battle. We are, thanks God, fighting that battle alongside PPL, not against PPL. But you can see probably a lot of people from PPL and from LOT trying to push people through the hub because it's what is required. But fundamentally speaking, the airport is badly conceived and it is way too small. And we definitely need to materialize the full aspirations of Polish Airlines. We definitely need the new central hub, the new transport hub Solidarity. But in the meantime, we probably will need some investments in order to enable further enhanced growth of LOT prior to the opening of the Solidarity new transport hub, which is likely to open, I hope, as the new CEO will, I'm sure, comment, but I hope in 2027.
Minister Wild, because you are in person responsible for this project within the government, what is your perspective? How was it possible that Poland hasn't built a real hub yet?
Well, I think that the main problem is the situation called the analysis paralysis, because if we face the difficult decision, long-term decision with a big impact for the whole economy of the country, we often think, well, maybe we have covered not as many data as we should have. And of course, we find ourselves in such a procrastination and prolonged the decision-making process so long over the end of our mission. Over the time our mission is over, the next minister or the next governmental official comes, and he also states, well, maybe I need some more data. Maybe I need to gather some look at this topic from the other perspective. And this was the situation in Poland in last 20 years. We have first, we have interdisciplinary council in the year 2003. Then we have first feasibility study for the central airport for Poland in the year 2005. Then we have the feasibility study of central for the central airport for Poland in the year 2010. All these studies has direct recommended you shall build new airport. It's profitable, it's good for the economy, it's good for the aviation sector. But we have done nothing, and that was sometimes the challenge is not to gather data, sometimes the challenge is to take the decision.
I have the question for the CEO of PPL. What is your strategy now that you consider founding a big hub, but still you will have several airports that are within your space?
First, let's have a look back into our past in terms of what is the reason we don't have such an airport that may be operated as a hub. So I'd say the root of all evils, the lack of any aviation strategy in the past. So for the first time with CTH program, we do have the situation we're talking about roads, railway, and aviation, and as one. Yes. Secondly, we also talk about the cooperation between PPL and LOT. What happened in the past was it was not quite clear, although we used to hear a lot about being a hub in Warsaw, but we did not have a clear future on the plans of LOT. Yes. However, when I first met Mr. Milczarski, our first point was just to cooperate together. First time in the history. So, therefore, instead of extending Warsaw Chopin Airport accidentally, and occasionally whatever was needed was just added to the airport, and first we've heard about the capacity of 22 million or 25 million passengers per year. Right now we are at the level of 15.75 million, and we are heavily struggling to get any more. We might get to 18 million this year, but that's it. The capacity of the runways is 38 movements per hour now. We can go up to 50. In terms of the environmental constraints, we are talking about 650 flight ops and movements per 24 hours. We might go up to 800. But what is important? First, this airport has never been developed as a real hub in terms of its functionality, in terms of its design, how it would be built. So we have the airport when we have a lot of aprons for narrow body, but in terms of transition airport, when passengers need to come, change the airplanes, and go and fly all over the world, it's basically in the kindergarten. So our first step was just to talk to LOT to see the real schedules, real flight schedules, hourly schedules. Once a real fleet, when we knew what type of fleet would be operated on the Chopin Airport. Look at other flight companies and other air carriers, and then we built the demand, initial demand. Secondly, we did employ a professional company, international company, that made the study of maximum extension of the airport just to meet this demand, but I still stress it as the hub as in transit, airport in transit. For everybody, it's quite obvious that having a look at Heathrow Airport and having a look at the Luton Airport, those are totally differently designed and in terms of functionality being airports. So we want to be the hub, the airport in transit. What it means, our plans for the extensions, but I say the extension to no more than 50 movements per hour, it cannot be, it's not possible to get any more, is on the way. We do it. And in this way, we want to make room for LOT, for the operations of LOT as the only carrier. So our mission is just to focus on the passengers in transit, on the hub operations, because basically that would be the opening point for the new central hub, newly built and constructed. It means we need to find another capacity elsewhere for other carriers. And per the studies, it comes out that, up to from 9 to 15 million of passengers, despite the maximum extension of the Sopot Airport, cannot be hosted at our premises in Warsaw. So it means we need another airport, and that another complementary airport needs to be dedicated to the air traffic, other than the hub operations, hub specific, which means low cost and charter operations. So that's the strategy for the PPL for the next 9 years.
Before we go to Jacek Bartosiak, let me ask Alexei Kornej from Swiss Railway, because this is funny, because now airports goes together with railway. So how is it? I mean, now it's really crucial factor to have this railway connected with the airports.
Bardzo się cieszę, że tu jestem. That's true. The future of transport is intermodal. And intermodal transport of the future is smart, is seamless, and is more customer-centric. And for this, you have to put many modes of transport together. It's smart because all of modes of transport will be enabled more with digital technologies. This will enhance travel experience for rail customers, for airline customers, increase travel frequency. This will boost economic growth. Data will be exchanged across all modes of transport, rail and airlines, and everything will be functioning as today airline industry is functioning in terms of data sharing and IT systems integration. The future of transport is also seamless. So rail customers, airline customers should be able to have a convenient interchange using integrated information, integrated booking, integrated payment, ticketing, and also intermodal transportation hubs like Central Communications Port. And of course, future of transport is more customer-centric. And this means that passenger well-being will be put into the center of intermodal transport. So we will have public transportation will be more on demand. We'll have flexible routes, flexible stops. Luggage will be delivered by robotic drones or porters, whatsoever. And the function of hubs will also change in many ways. It will change from economic point of view. Hubs will become even bigger drivers of economic growth, of international trade. They will employ all over the world much more people than they do today. They will increase accessibility and quality of life in countries. And many countries will consider hubs as a competitive advantage of a nation. If you think about Singapore Jewel Changi or Dubai Al Maktoum International, that's actually the competitive advantage of those countries. Hubs will also change from infrastructure point of view. They will be even bigger marketplaces. On the area of hubs will be located business parks, logistics parks, technology and research parks, hotels, hospitals, congress centers, universities. There will be less parking spaces in hubs, but therefore there will be more pick-up and drop-off zones for robotaxis. Hubs will also become centers of entertainment. If you again think about Singapore Jewel Changi offering waterfalls and swimming pools and gardens, or you think about Seoul Incheon Transportation Hub, where you can find indoor skating. So that actually shows us that hubs of the future will offer us experience of nature, culture, education, recreation. Hubs will also integrate many more modes in the future. Again, if you think about Hyperloop, vacuum transportation technology working at a speed of 1,200 kilometers per hour. Many companies promise that in a couple years from now, Hyperloop will be already reality.
We need to move on. So I'm sorry, because our time is...
You are moderator. You are
yeah, sorry. And I have a question for Jacek. Will CPK will it be Polish Changi?
Okay, in my first words as CEO, and this is always, an important moment, I would like to say good afternoon, as this is the journey that we will all have together, and by the time it ends, the Poland will have changed, and that's the goal of the team that will be running this project. And by the change, I mean something really of proportions that we have not seen, at least since we remember, because this is not only the sort of carrying the project and building the airport. It's something much bigger, much more important, of grander scale. But it's not the time to talk about that, although maybe those few of you who know me from lectures know well that I tend to speak a lot, and the broader the audience, the more I like it. So this time I'll try to be very concise and try to answer the question. The airport that you mentioned is a symbol of effectiveness and making money, which is by itself a good token, and it's sort of a good example how you should make money and interact with people and communicate this small state of Singapore with the world. And that's a good sort of a token, a good example in a way that, of course, everybody would like to make money. But CPK is, again, something of broader perspective. Not only a main hub for Poland, but the heart of the new transportation system for the country that is, of course, much bigger than Singapore and can integrate the whole region. What it shares with Changi, that it's also located in a key critical location. If you look at Poland and the center of it from the continental perspective. And in that respect, we would like to achieve the similar success. Let it be the answer to the question.
As we will be landing in 3 minutes, I have a question, the last question to the CEO of LOT. Do you think that CPK will be on time, that you will not reach the capacity of the existing infrastructure to let you grow and to be the leader of the region?
Well, I think we will reach the capacity by the time that CPK is open. We will reach the capacity of the Chopin Airport at least 2 times, because any investment will not happen instantaneously, and I think it's going to be gradual and staged. But yes, I am sure that this airport will be open on time, and in fact, I have a significant, giant vested interest in it happening on time, because we as an airline are playing in a global market. And this global market, thus far for the last 20, 25, 30 years, has been flying by us. We have not really developed. We were more or less stagnant at between 3 and 5 million passengers. As I said, this year we are probably going to reach about 9 million passengers. And a lot of people were thinking that that's completely impossible. But actually we are not dreamers, and we are not magicians. We have just tapped into an opportunity that existed, and it had existed for a long time. And the reality is, first of all, by nature, I'm an entrepreneur, and I want to make sure that this opportunity is utilized to its full potential. Of course, at the same time, I'm Pole, I'm patriotic, and I want my country, which actually has the possibility and has the size and geographical position to play a very significant role in the global aviation market, to actually take this place and play its role. And I think the most important thing I would like to say, what Alexei said was very, very inspiring. And in fact, very rarely I meet people who think alike, but I actually think. So first of all, congratulations, because what you've said was fantastic. But
thank you.
But secondly, I think we are going to run through the most inspiring and challenging intellectual exercise over the next 2 years, probably, because in the process of designing this hub, we need to make sure A, it's economical, B, it's extremely efficient, it must be practical. It needs to stand out in the efficiency, in the airport experience. The passenger who will be changing at this airport has to have the possibility for a short interchange. And I would like this airport, when it's completed, to actually become one of key elements of our competitive advantage. Because, of course, Lot Polish Airlines, we have an aspiration to become the favorite airline for 180 million people living in Central Europe. And that's part of our strategy that we've clearly defined. But I would like this airport that Minister Wild and Jacek and his team will build with, I hope, significant support and advice from both PPL, LOT and other players to actually make sure that this is the most fantastic global hub in this part of the world, that it is the best hub in Europe. And I think this is a challenging task, but I'm sure we will achieve it, and we will achieve it on time and within budget.
That's very optimistic. Thank you, guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you all for having you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Łukasz.
Thank you.